Hare Krishna. So welcome everybody. So we are going to start today chapter 1 of Bhagavad Gita. So Bhagavad Gita is divided into 18 chapters and the first chapter is known as uh, observing the armies in the battlefield of Kurukshetra. So let us start with verse number 1. So we know there are 700 verses, out of which the first and the only verse is spoken by Dhritarashtra, which we are going to read. धृतराष्ट्र उवाच धर्मक्षेत्रे कुरुक्षेत्रे समवेतायुत्सव मामका पाण्डवश्चैव किम् अकुर्वत संजय. Dhritarashtra said, O Sanjaya, after my sons and the sons of Pandu assembled in the place of pilgrimage at Kurukshetra, desired to fight, what did they do? So, if we see this verse, go back. So Dhritarashtra is saying here, at the place of where dharma is performed, which is known as Kurukshetra, the place, both the parties, that is Mamaka, my sons, and the sons of Pandu, why they have come? Samaveta Yutsava. They have come so that they can fight. And then in the fourth line, he is asking, Kim Akavat Sanjay, what did they do? So this question itself is very, very irrelevant. See, if somebody comes to us and he tells he's very hungry and we gave them food, we gave him a plate of food to eat, and the person is hungry and the food is kept in front of him and the question is asked is, what did he do? Of course, he will eat the food. Why the question is coming? Person is hungry, there is food kept in front of him, he will eat the food. So here, Dhritarashtra is saying that my sons and the sons of Pandu have assembled to fight. So what did they do? So why this question is being asked, we'll come to know when we read the purport also. So translation and purport is all given by Divine Grace Prabhupada. So Bhagavad Gita is a widely read theistic science summarized in the Gita Mahatmya, origin of Gita. There it says that one should read Bhagavad Gita very scrutinizing with the help of a personal devotee of Sri Krishna and try to understand it without personally motivated interpretations. So how we should read Bhagavad Gita is written here. Scrutinizing is very, very in detail we should read. And with the help of devotee of Sri Krishna, we should understand it and we should not have our own motivated interpretations. The example of clear understanding is there in Bhagavad Gita itself, in the way the teaching is understood by Arjuna, who heard the Gita directly from the Lord. If someone is fortunate enough to understand Bhagavad Gita in that line of disciplic succession, without motivated interpretation, then it surpasses all studies of Vedic wisdom and all scriptures of the world. One will find in Bhagavad Gita all that is contained in other scriptures, but the reader will also find things which are not to be found elsewhere. So this is a specific quality of Bhagavad Gita. We'll find everything which is there in other scriptures. At the same time, we'll find something more which is not there in other scriptures also. So the method of how we should read Bhagavad Gita is to receive the succession from a devotee of Krishna, then we can understand it much easily. Otherwise, it is difficult for us to understand. So this is specific standard of Gita. It is a perfect theistic science because it is directly spoken by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Sri Krishna. So we should understand this. So many people say that God is impersonal, he doesn't have form and all. But Bhagavad Gita is spoken by Lord Krishna himself is Lord and therefore is very personal. And this is theistic, it is not atheistic, which so many people think of. And therefore, all the atheistic interpretation of Bhagavad Gita should be kept aside and only the theistic interpretation should be taken into account. That is, we believe in God. That should be the foundational principle. The topics discussed by Dhritarashtra and Sanjaya, as described in the Mahabharata, form the basic principle for this great philosophy. It is understood that this philosophy evolved on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, which is a sacred place of pilgrimage from the immemorial time of Vedic age. So they choose this place not as it is. They had deliberated on it, and therefore they choose Kurukshetra. So why they choose Kurukshetra was, suppose people if they die also, they will get a good destination. and therefore this place was chosen there. And why his name is Kurukshetra is one of the Kurus had done their very dharmic karya, their religious karya, and therefore it is not also a place of dharma, and where it name as place of Kurukshetra. And it was spoken by the Lord when he was present personally on the planet for the guidance of mankind. So it was spoken by Lord himself, and for what is it spoken? To guide the mankind. So it is there for eternally. So Bhagavad Gita is book of principles. It will not give us direct answers what to do, but it will give us principles on what are the principles which should decide the deciding factor to do things. And therefore, we should understand Gita very nicely. The word Dharma Kshetra, a place where religious rituals are performed, is significant because on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, the Supreme Personality of Godhead was present on the side of Arjuna. So Dhritarashtra, the father of the Kurus, was highly doubtful about the possibility of his son's ultimate victory. So you understand what is going in the inner mind? Dhritarashtra is fearful because Dharma or Krishna is on the side of Arjuna, and they are all dharmic. The place is Dharma, Dharma Kshetra means the place is where Dharma is performed. Pandavas are dharmic, and Krishna is also on that side. So Dhritarashtra is doubtful whether their sons will be victorious or not, and therefore he is doubt. He inquired from his secretary Sanjaya, what did they do? So because of this doubt, whether his sons will win or not, he has asked this question, what did they do? Otherwise, we are not asked. Because otherwise, we are not, oh, they fought and fought, they won the war. But he's asking what did they do means he is doubtful whether his sons will win the war. He was confident that both his sons and the sons of younger brother Pandu are assembled in the field of Kurukshetra for a determined engagement of war. So he knew now, by the time it has gone, that both are engaged in war and they will fight. Still, this inquiry is significant. He did not want a compromise between the cousins and brothers, and he wanted to be sure of the fate of his sons on the battlefield. So now they have come to a fight. So he did not want compromise. So it may not happen. This place of pilgrimage. So maybe it may act on Arjuna and all. They may think, no, let us compromise. Why to have so much bloodshed? Or maybe it may act on Duryodhana and say, no. Why to have so much fight for some small kingdom? Let us cooperate and do something. So he was doubtful of this also, and therefore he was thinking. So he did not want a compromise. At the same time, he wanted to know for sure what is the fate of his sons. Are they going to win or they are going to lose? So this was his inner dilemma for this which question came. So because the battle was arranged to be fought at Kurukshetra, which is mentioned as in the Vedas, the place of worship, even for the denizens of heaven. So Kurukshetra is a place where the Devatas also used to come, and they used to do their dharmic karyas. So Dhritarashtra became very fearful about the influence of holy place on the outcome of the battle. So Dhritarashtra was very fearful that how will this place influence my sons. So we should very much understand the place in which we stay has influence on us. This we should understand. So if we stay in a place which is godly, like temple and all, it will have very positive influence on us. At the same time, the places where not so good activities are going on, if we stay in that place, there will be bad effects on us, and gradually we'll move in a direction in the environment in which we are. So the environment is also equally important with the activity which you are doing. So if you are reading Bhagavad Gita in a place which is not conducive to us, then it will have less effect. But the environment also is made in such a way, and where we can read, then fantastic. Nothing like we are making an environment where all the people are coming together. We are discussing, we are churning Bhagavad Gita, and we are reading in association of devotees. So this is a very good environment which is conducive to understand Bhagavad Gita. So he knew very well that this would influence Arjuna and the sons of Pandu very favorably, because by nature they were all virtuous. So he had the fear that because the Pandus were very virtuous, then the land will act favorably on them. Sanjaya was a student of Vyasa, and therefore, by the mercy of Vyasa, Sanjaya was able to envision the battlefield of Kurukshetra even while he was in the room of Dhritarashtra. So, like we are sitting in our place and attending meeting on Zoom, and we are seeing each other on Zoom. So, like this, Sanjaya is sitting with Dhritarashtra, and from that place is able to see what is going in the battle of Kurukshetra. So his television, his Zoom was all there before also. There is nothing new which we have invented. Just it has come to be known to us now. So at that time also Sanjaya is seeing what is happening in the battlefield of Kurukshetra and then telling Dhritarashtra of what is happening there. And therefore, even while he is in room, Dhritarashtra is telling him the situation on the battlefield. So both the Pandavas and the sons of Dhritarashtra belong to the same family, but Dhritarashtra's mind is disclosed herein. He deliberately claimed his sons as Kurus and he separated the sons of Pandu from the family heritage. So Pandu and Dhritarashtra are brothers and their sons are fighting. So above them the lineage is same. They're all Kauravas actually. But Dhritarashtra is saying his own son as Kurus and others as son of Pandus. So in this way, he's telling the differentiating between his sons and the sons of Pandu. So this is disclosing how he has separate mentalist attitude. And one can thus understand specific position of Dhritarashtra in his relation with his nephews, the sons of Pandu. And therefore, one can understand what type of relationship he has with his nephews and sons of Pandu. As a paddy field, as in the paddy field, the unnecessary plants are taken out. So it is expected from the very beginning of these topics that in the region of field of Kurukshetra, where the father of religion Sri Krishna was present, the unwanted plants like Dhritarashtra's son Duryodhana and others will be wiped out, and the thoroughly religious persons headed by Yudhishthir would be established by the Lord. This is the significance of the word Dharma Kshetra and Kurukshetra apart from their historical and Vedic importance. So, as in the paddy field, we have seen what happens is the all the unwanted plants and the creepers have been removed so that necessary plants can grow. So here also what will happen is the unnecessary people who are burden of the earth, like Guru and others, will be wiped out thoroughly. And religious persons headed by Yudhishthira will be established by the Lord. So this is the significance of this word, and we should understand this will happen very soon. So Prabhupada is giving us everything in advance. This is glory that he is giving us advance. So we should understand. So let us go to verse number 2. Sanjaya Uvacha Drishtva tu Pandavanikam Vyudam Duryodhanastada Acharyam Upasangamya Raja Vachanam Abravit. So Sanjay is now saying, because Dhritarashtra asked this question, what did they do? So they have assembled together, what did they do? So this was the question. So now Sanjay is starting to answer. He's saying, Sanjay said, O king, after looking over the army arranged in the military formation by the sons of Pandu, King Duryodhana went to his teacher and spoke the following words. So what did Sanjay say? That look, Duryodhana is not going to compromise. Do not worry, do not fear. So what he's doing, he's going to his teacher and speaking the following words. And he's looking at the army arranged in the military forces. So he's looking at the army, how it is arranged, and then he's going to his teacher. So do not worry, he will fight. And then purport, Dhritarashtra was blind from birth. Unfortunately, he was also bereft of spiritual vision. So we all know because his mother did something while doing union, she closed her eye. So Dhritarashtra was blind, born blind, and therefore it is said that he was born blind. He is okay, but he didn't even had spiritual vision also, and therefore he was equally blind in the matter of religion. And not only he, but his sons, that is his sons, all the 100 sons were also blind, and they are also blind since birth. Still, he was doubtful about the influence of place of pilgrimage. So his sons now would never ever reach an understanding with the Pandavas, who are all pious since birth. So we all know Pandus and the sons of Pandus, Pandavas are all pious, and the way they are born is not natural. It is extraordinary birth. Their all births are extraordinary, their powers are extraordinary, and their virtues are even extraordinary. So they are all pious, whereas Duryodhana all are impious. And therefore, he was doubtful about the place of prayer, and Sanjaya could understand his motive in asking about the situation on the battlefield. So Dhritarashtra can understand what is there, and Sanjaya can even understand what is there in Dhritarashtra's mind. And he could understand not only the words, but what is there between the lines. So in life also, what is spoken is important to understand, but what is spoken between the lines, if one can understand that, he can be on a much better position. And therefore here, if we can see this place, Sanjay could understand what Dhritarashtra is speaking while he is saying these words. And therefore, he wanted to encourage the despondent king and thus assured him that his sons were not going to make any sort of compromise under the influence of holy place. So he was telling the son, Dhritarashtra, that his sons are not going to make compromise. Do not worry, they are going to fight. Sanjaya therefore informed the king that his son Duryodhana, after seeing the military force of Pandavas, at once went to the commander of in chief Duryodhana. So when Dronacharya. So when Duryodhana saw the military force which were arranged by the son of Drupada, just seeing that he was very fearful, and he goes to Dronacharya, and this will come in the next verse. His inner fears, how he's trying to conceal. To inform the real position, although Duryodhana is mentioned as a king, he still has to go to commander on account of seriousness of the situation. So actually Duryodhana is king, so everybody should come to him, but he goes because the matter is very serious. That the arrangement of army itself is telling Duryodhana that he cannot win, and therefore he is going to Dronacharya. He was therefore quite to be fit to be a politician. But Duryodhana's diplomatic winner could not disguise his fear he felt when he saw the military element of the Pandavas. So Duryodhana is a politician, so he has inside something, but he's telling outside something different. And this diplomatic things of Duryodhana winner could not be disguised, so it could not disguise the fear which he felt. So when he saw the military arrangement of Pandavas, he was fearful. I cannot win this. I cannot win this war. He was so fearful that he went to Dronacharya. And this he could not conceal in any way. So let's go to the verse number 3. Pashyatam Panduputranam Acharya Mahatim Chamam Vyudam Drupada Putrena Tav Sishyena Dhimatam. O my teacher, behold the great army of the sons of Pandu, so expertly arranged by your intelligent disciple, the son of Drupada. So now Duryodhana is telling to Dronacharya, O teacher, see the army of Pandu, and it's intelligently arranged by whom? Your disciple. But here Duryodhana is a diplomat. He's not in the name of disciple, that is Drishtadumna. He's saying the disciple, the son of Drupada. So why he is doing this? Why is saying the name of Drupada and not Drishtadumna? We'll see in the Padma. So Duryodhana, a great diplomat, wanted to point out the defects of Dronacharya, the great Brahmana commander-in-chief. So Duryodhana has come not only to tell the seriousness of situation, but he wants to point out the defects of Dronacharya. And what are the defect? We'll see further. So Dronacharya had some political quarrel with King Drupada, and after the father of Draupadi was Arjuna's wife. As a result of this quarrel, Drupada performed a great sacrifice by which he received the mention of having a son who would able to kill Dronacharya. And Dronacharya knew this perfectly well, and yet as a liberated Bhavana, he did not hesitate to impart all his military secrets when the son of Drupada, Drishtadumna, was entrusted to him for military education. Now, on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, Drishtadumna took the side of Pandavas, and it was he who arranged the military panics after having learned the art from Dronacharya. So, what is the story is, in the childhood, Drupada and Dronacharya both were studying the same Gurukul and both became thick of friends. And in friendship, once what Drupada told is, when I become a king, I will give half of my kingdom to you. And after some years, they both passed from the Gurukul modern language school, and then both got married. So Drupada became the king of the kingdom, and here Dronacharya was a pure Brahmana. And one day, what happened is his child Ashwatthama was crying for want of food, and there was no food at home. And some of them say that they gave some drink, but it was not food. And seeing the pitiable condition, he went to Drupada to ask for a cow, that so that he can get some milk or anything. So such was his condition. So he was so poor. So we went to Drupada and told him that we are friends and all. Then Drupada told that I am a king and you are a Brahman, a beggar. So how can there be friendship between a beggar and a Brahman or a king? So there is no friendship between us. And he insulted Dronacharya like anything. So Dronacharya did not say a word at that point of time. He went out. But then he took a vow that he will take revenge from Drupada. So after some time, then Dronacharya became the teacher of the Kauravas and the Pandavas. And that time, he trained them very well. He trained both the Duryodhana 100 sons and the Pandavas. And after that training was over, so these were the kings, and there was no system of monthly fees at that point of time. So after the training is over, they would give Guru Dakshina. Whatever the Guru asked, the students would give according to their own condition or their capacity of what which they can do. And they were the sons of the king. So they have unlimited capacity to give to Dronacharya. And that time, Dronacharya asked the Kauravas and Pandavas to bring Drupad alive. And then the Duryodhana tries with his 100 sons to fight with Drupada, and he fails very miserably. So Drupada beats them left, right, and center. And then what happens is Arjuna and the brothers go and fight with Drupada, and they win the war and bring Drupada to Dronacharya. And that time Dronacharya now says, "Now you are my captive. So now I will take half of your kingdom." And after taking half of the kingdom, he says, "Now we are both equal. Now we are both friends." And in this way, Dronacharya insults Drupada like anything, and then leaves life of Drupada and let him go. And Drupada, after receiving such an insult from Dronacharya, he vows that I will bring forth a son which will kill Dronacharya. And in that way, he did a sacrifice in which a son and a daughter was born. We all know. So Dhritarashtra was his son and Draupadi was the daughter, which has come from a yajna. And this is what all is described here. And then after Dhritarashtra was born, Drupada sent him to Dronacharya only for training because Dronacharya was one of the best teachers. And Dronacharya knew that Dhritarashtra is born and meant to kill him. Still, as a liberal Brahmana, he imparted all what he knew to Dhritarashtra. And now what has happened is Dronacharya is on Kaurava's side and Dhritarashtra is on Pandava's side. And this Dhritarashtra, the son of Drupad, has arranged the military panics. So there are certain formations which we make, elephant or a horse, or there are so many different formations in which military the army is being formed on a particular day to fight with the other army. And today, what the formation was there, it disturbed Duryodhana like anything. He was so much disturbed, and therefore he went to Dronacharya to point out his mistake. That what did you do? See, your mistake is now making us suffer, and therefore please take care. And Duryodhana pointed out this mistake of Dronacharya so that he might be alert and uncompromising in the fighting. By this, he wanted to point out also that he should not be similarly lenient in the battlefield against the Pandavas, who were also Dronacharya's affectionate students. So, in this way, he wanted to also told Dronacharya that once you have done the mistake, now do not do this mistake again. I know you are affectionate to Pandavas and they are your very good disciples. So please do not be lenient to them and fight with your might. And Arjuna especially was his most affectionate brilliant student. Duryodhana also warned that such news in the fight would lead us to defeat. So Dronacharya is on one side, but his students are on the other side, which are favorite. And Duryodhana is warning that if you show some leniency and do not fight according to capacity, then what will happen is we will certainly meet defeat. So I am warning you beforehand. Please do not be lenient in the battlefield and fight to your capacity. And in this way, if we see on one side, Dronacharya, Duryodhana is coming to Dronacharya to tell him about the fight which is going on. And on the other side, he is chastising Dronacharya. So he's fit to be diplomat in both ways. And this we can see in this verse. So we'll discuss further in the next class. Till then, thank you very much. If anybody has any quick questions, remarks, or want to ask anything, then it is open, or we'll end for the day. Thank you very much for coming to the class.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you.
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you. Thank you.
Hare Krishna. Okay, so thank you very much. We'll again meet next Wednesday.
Okay, sure, Prabhuji. Thank you.